Hi friends, you're welcome to the tailor's hub. Alright, so in this video I'll be showing you how I made this simple and stylish short boo dress. Okay, if this is your first time on this channel, thank you, you're welcome. Please subscribe, like and share, and turn on your notifications so you know when a new video is on. Thank you so much to all our existing subscribers. See you in the next slide. Thank you. Alright guys, you're welcome back. These are the materials that we'll be needing for this material is called scuba, and then this is patterned and silk material. If you want to use this make that style, depending on the size of a person, you'll be needing a 1.5 yards. If you're using a scuba like this or a crepe or any other plain material that is at least by 60, so you'll be needing about 1.5 yards for the style, and then 2 yards of the pattern material. All right, so let's just get started. The first, this is, it's a pieces material, but I know it's almost, if not over 1.5 yards. So we'll go ahead and draft the body first. All right, so we're going to be drafting the body of the dress first. So we're going to draft a basic bodice as a dress. All right, let's get started. The first thing I'll do is to measure the length of a dress just slightly below the knee. That's a 3/4, and the length of this particular person is 38, or let's say 39. I won't be adding so much allowance on the dress because I just want to fold in at the hem allowance about 1/2 inch, and then also at the allowances at the side 1/2 inch as well. So I'm going to measure 40. This is 40. Let me shift it down so that you can see it well. All right, so this is 40. Sorry, excuse me. This is 40. Forgive me that I have to use a crayon. I have to use a crayon, some of my children's crayon, because that is what is available now. So I go ahead and mark, like I told you, we're cutting out a basic bodice first. So we mark the shoulder, we mark the neck width, how wide, because in the style, the collar is not really narrow or firm on the body like that, but I want mine to, this particular one, to be firm. So I make it 2 1/4 inches. All right, then I go down by, let me go down by 3 inches. 2 1/4 by 3 inches. So this is the neckline. I slant go down at the end of the shoulder by 1 inch. Okay, and I slant it. Can you see that? All right, so we go down here, the armhole length, all right, by 8.5 inches. Then I like to measure my vertical measurements first, to know where the horizontal measurements will be placed. Okay, so I measure the shoulder to the nipple point. The shoulder to the nipple point of this person is 10. I just go down by 1/2 inch. 10 plus 1/2 inch, 10.5. That's for the nipple point where we're going to measure the bust circumference. Then shoulder to the under bust is 13. 13, then 1/2 inch for the sewing allowance. Shoulder to the waistline there about above the navel is 16.5. So I make it 17. Shoulder to the hip line is 26. So I make it 26.5. Those are the vertical, all right, measurements. Those are the vertical measurements. as you can see. Then we go ahead and measure the horizontal measurements on the shoulder to bust point. All right, let me shift it. I trust that you can see it well. On the shoulder to the bust point, this is the bust point. I measure the bust is 34. And like I told you earlier, I'm not going to be adding, because this is a stretchy material, I'm not going to be adding so much allowance to it, because it might rebound. If I add, even after holding the allowance, it might be more than the measurement. So this is 34. I add just half inch. I'm adding just half inch. Then the waist is, I want to make it 28, because I'm not going to be adding any that to this dress. And if you see the one in the style, you see that it's a loose fitting dress, but this is going to be fitted. All right, for the body, this is going to be fitted. I also add half inch. I don't want to add any that on it. Okay. Also on the waistline, the measurement of the under bust and the waist of this person is the same thing. So the same thing, 28. All right, I mark the measurement, add half inch as well. Okay, I go down, shaping it down. Then I go ahead and measure the hip, which is 38. All right, 38. And I add half inch allowance as well. Then we connect it. Then I want it to be a bit pencil. All right, if you are making a penciled dress, depending on how well penciled you want it to be, you can subtract between 6 to 4 inches. That's what you can subtract from it. But what I do in my own case, because we are adding just half inch to this thing, it might not really work, the strategy I used to use. So I'll just remove 4 inches from my hip measurements. If I remove 4 inches from 38, that's 34. So 34 divided by 4, this is 8.5. And I also add my half inch that I added up. Then I connect it. Okay, so that's about that. Then we go ahead and then before we cut it, we come here, rule a line down. This is the way I do the armpits, and I connect it with an arc at the angle here, the angle here, this angle, at this angle that forms L. I hope you are seeing it, and I connect it with an arc. That's it. So before we go ahead and cut the style, this is the basic bodice of a beginner. All right, so now there's a part of the side of the dress that is hopped out, is cut out. So here the neck, I go in by half inch here. There's a V neckline at the chest of the dress. I don't want this particular dress to be too wide, so I make it half inch. If you spread out half inch, it gives you 1 inch. So if I sew on both sides, it might extend up to almost 2 inches. So 2 inches as the width of the V. There's a V at the neckline around the chest. There's a V neckline there. I want it to be as wide as 2 inches. So I put half inch down. I'm going to cut out half inch here. Then I also go down by 8.5 inches, because I don't want the person's cleavage to be showing. Then we connect the V down, the sharp like a long triangle. That's for that. Then on this side, after you have measured the V neckline around the chest, I'm going to be measuring 2 inches here around this neckline here. I'm going to be measuring 2 inches from this place where the V neckline stops. This is 2 inches. Okay, so from that 2 inches, we're going to be connecting it to the hip line. This is the hip line. We're going to be connecting it to the hip line. All right, this is it. So here is it. So we're going to be cutting out this side to cut the other side of the dress. Okay, so let's go ahead and cut it. Cut my v-neck neckline. All right, before I cut it, I like to use it to cut the back moving forward. All right, before I cut out this side, I'll use it to cut the back first, then we can go ahead and cut it with it, because the back is going to be the same thing with the front except the neckline. All right, if you are somebody that uses pattern, you can just cut it out on a paper before you transfer it to your fabric. All right, like I told you that the back is going to be the same thing as the front. I intended to use it before cutting out this lace. So the back now, the only difference is this neckline, because the back is going to be high. It's not going to be as deep as this. So I just take out, I go down from the shoulder here by just 1 inch. Okay, this is the back. Okay, this is it. And then we connect it. I go down by 1 inch. I'll cut it out. And then from this point, this back, we start cutting it. Remember that the neck width of this dress, this is not from the center of the shoulder, because the neck width has been removed. So we remove the neck width that has been removed, which is 2 1/4. I trust we can see it. We remove the neck width that has been removed. Okay, 2 1/4. Okay, then we measure our 30 inches. Sorry, my table is not so wide. Let me find a way to position it in a way that we are going to be seeing it properly. As I was saying, I removed the neck width that I have already measured, and then I measure the 30 inches. This is 30 inches. I add 1 inch allowance, I make it 31. I go down about 3 inches from here and I connect it to the shoulder of this pattern that I cut out from the dress. All right, so from this point, I measure the round sleeve. Okay, round sleeve of this person at the elbow area is 10 inches. Okay, 10, and I add about 1.5 inch allowance. I make it 6.5. Okay, this is it. I trust you can see it. I'm using a green crayon. Then I go in here by 3 inches. This is it. I go in from this end of the arm here. I go in by 3 inches. After doing that, once we have done this, then let me shift it this way so that we can see it well. From this point, you start shaping. I want you to pay close attention. You start curving it. All right. You start curving it till it gets here to where this material ends. Till it gets here. Okay. So here at this side, I'm going to add half inch allowance to this place. That's it. Also go down here a little by half inch. As I'm cutting it, please pay close attention to how it's going to look like. Sorry, this is a silk material, so it's expected that it's like this when you're cutting it. All right. This is how it's going to look like the one for the side. So now we're going to cut another two like this. Even I folded the material into 4 already. We don't need to, start cutting again because like I told you, I'm trying to manage the material. So we'll go ahead and cut 2 more like this. Okay, this is the way it's going to look. So the next thing we're going to do now, before we go ahead and sew, we'll be cutting and interfacing on this one. This is the front, all right, and also an interfacing at the back. Because the dress is not going to have any zip, I'm going to split the back by 3 inches thereabouts. This is so that this is a turtleneck dress. So it will be easy to wear from the neck. But let's add about 1 inch more. All right, ensure as you are splitting that this side is equal. All right, so that's about it.